Hi there. Tell me, is Tilray or Cronos a better buy today? Because as you can see, the stock price for both of them went up. They follow each other. Year to date, Tilray was up 7% and Cronos 21%. You might say that Cronos is a better buy. But let's see. Now, you also have to know that these companies have good tailwinds from the cannabis industry. Because, as you probably know, the global cannabis market is expected to grow from 57 billion to over 400 billion by 2030. A compound annual growth rate over 34%. That's quite amazing. Those stocks, if they become profitable, should grow by 30% a year. And so your investment. That's a nice return to have when the interest rates are about 5%. This is amazing if those companies can grow by 34% a year. So the industry is expected to grow by this amazing growth rate. But let's see if Tilray or Cronos or both can grow at the same rate. Because as you look at their market cap, they might be about the same. But Tilray, the market cap of Tilray is 2 times higher than Cronos. Because in the left side you see 1.8 billion in dollars, and the right side you see 1.3 Canadian dollars. And if you convert this number, you can see that the market cap is about $1 billion. So, Tilray has a higher market cap than Cronos. Now, let's look at their business, what they're doing. Why Tilray has a higher market cap than Cronos? Because as you've seen, their performance is quite different year to date. 7% for Tilray and 21% for Cronos. So Cronos is about in line with this expected annual growth rate, over 34%. Now, if you look at Tilray, you can see up here their annual report, 10K Tilray brands. You can see that the revenue was about or over 600 million for 2023. Keep in mind this number, 600 million revenue. Tilray was able to make 600 million in revenue for 2023. And Cronos made about 120 million in revenue. So if you compare the total revenue, you can see that the total revenue for Tilray is almost 5 times higher than Cronos. 600 million for Tilray and 120 million for Cronos. So that's why you see this difference between their market caps. Tilray is able to make more money than Cronos. Now, let's see their profits. How profitable they are. If you look at Tilray, you can see that the net loss for 2023 was about 1.4 billion. Compared to the revenue of 600 million, this is quite huge. But be aware that they also had an impairment of over 900 million. So it's better to look at the past years, when their net loss was about 400 million. You might say that for this year, their net loss was about the same, between 400 and 500 million. So their normalized losses are about 500 million a year. And for Cronos, as you can see, their total loss was about 74 million for 2023. And for the previous years, about 168 million and almost 400 million. So as you can see, both companies have no profits. They are trying to grow their revenue, to expand their business, and maybe they might become profitable. Now, another good indicator is the growth rate of the revenue. For Cronos, you can see that the revenue went up from 80 million to over 120 million from 2021 to 2023. This is good that the revenue keeps growing. And for Tilray, The revenue went up, but their growth rate wasn't that high, especially for the last 2 years. The revenue was flat, about 620 million. It has increased only from 500 million. As they have good tailwinds from this cannabis industry, they may grow more in the future. And maybe they can become profitable. Now, as you've seen, the difference between their market caps is just that Tilray is 2 times higher. But why that? Because the revenue, as you've seen, is 5 times higher. Why is that? Well, if you research more about their assets, especially for Cronos, you can see that Cronos has a lot of cash on hand. If you add their cash and cash equivalents, plus short-term investments, plus other investments, the total would be about 900 million, over 900 million dollars. And if you look at the market cap, it's about 1 billion. If you convert it into US dollars. So Cronos is traded about the cash on hand, plus investments. Now if you look at Tilray, you can see that they have some cash, about 450 million, but they also have some debt, which is about the same, 400 million. So the net cash position is almost zero. And that's why the market cap for Tilray is traded about 1.8 billion, because the revenue is higher, about 600 million revenue a year, even more than that. And for Cronos, is more about their cash on hand, which is about 900 million. And the revenue is about 120 million a year. So if the market cap of Cronos declines below 900 million, then the stock price will be traded below the cash on hand. And that will be great because you also can rely on their cash of 900 million for Cronos. Now, you also have to be aware that they also have some losses, and that cash position will decline in the future. They might burn 74 million a year, 100, or more than 300. This can also happen. That's why you have to be aware of Cronos. The good part about Cronos is that they are small, their revenue keeps growing quite fast, and also their operating losses are declining. As you can see, from 2021, they had almost 300 million in operating losses, but those losses have declined to about 84 million. This is a good sign, because if this company keeps growing more in the future and reduce their losses, they might become profitable. And if that happens, the stock price of Cronos can go up a lot. This can also happen. And that's why the performance of Cronos is much higher year to date compared to Tilray, 21%, and Tilray only 7%. Now, of course, everything depends on their growth rate. If Cronos can grow more in the future, then the market cap may double. Same for Tilray. If they can increase the revenue from 600 million to more than 1 billion a year and reduce their losses, then this company can also double. But as you've seen, the growth rate wasn't that high. And of course, their operating losses have increased from 2021, from 140 million to more than 1.3 billion. But as I said, they also had more impairments because they've done more acquisitions. So based on those statements, their numbers, the growth rate, and also their cash position, Cronos seems a better business than Tilray. But as I said, what's important is if those companies can become profitable. If they don't become profitable and they only grow their revenue by doing acquisitions and burning a lot of cash, then none of these companies will do great in the future. That's why you have to be aware of this risk. Moreover, there is another risk you have to be aware of, and that is dilution. As you see in this chart, Tilray has a lot of dilution. The number of shares for Tilray has increased from 200 million in 2020 to over 700 million in 2023. This is quite a lot. More than 3x. And for Cronos, the number of shares from 2020 has increased from 300 million to 300 million. So it remains stable. This is good. If they maintain the number of shares around this level, 380 million, that will be good for shareholders. So the downside for Tilray is that they have a lot of dilution. And Cronos has little dilution. Of course, if you look into the past, when they went public, the number of shares were around 140 million. And now the number of shares has more than doubled. But still, for the last 4 years, the number of shares has been stable. And if they can maintain it this way, that will be great for shareholders. Especially if Cronos can become profitable, grow more their revenue, to increase their sales, and reduce their losses. Now, the industry has good tailwinds, as you've seen. A compound annual growth rate over 44%. But what's important, and you have to be aware of this thing, is their profits. If those companies can become profitable. If they don't, and they continue to report more losses in the future, both Tilray and Cronos, then that will be bad for investors. Their performance won't be that great. As you've seen, for the last 5 years, both stocks went down over 95% for Tilray and 85% for Cronos. So this performance may happen again. That's why you have to be very careful. If those companies don't become profitable, it's all about their earnings. If they report positive earnings, then your investment will go up. You can have more than 20% a year. That can also happen. But if they don't report positive earnings, profits, then your risk may be total loss. Those companies may go bankrupt. That's why you have to be aware of the risk, not only on the reward. This is a nice growth rate among the best industries, but you also have to be aware of the risk, especially competition. So that's it for this video, and if you have other questions, please let me know in the comments.